Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Hi, Karen.
Hello.
Yay.
Morning, Tim.
Well, this is Friday Ascension update with Tim Wild, Karen Mayne, and the beautiful surroundings that we have chosen. This is a new spot, isn't it?
Yeah, we haven't been up this end
No.
of here before.
So you might have seen us at this beautiful location this time last year, but we were in a different spot because we have workmen blocking our access to the
Blocking the
blocking
bridge.
the bridge. How
Well,
very dare they? So.
That's a story in itself,
Isn't it just? Isn't it just? So and here we are, and the beauty of these coming togethers is just it's a chat about what is happening on the pathway. This is the 4th time we've met and that we've done this, which is so. Thank you, Karen, for offering the space and co-piloting with me for what's coming through. And interesting times, aren't they, at the moment?
Hasn't it been? We were talking earlier just about like where we're both at slightly, where we're both at, and I was talking about the amount of inner understanding that's really resonating at the moment and what's coming up. So with the nervous system work, the shadow work, I love it.
It is your thing, isn't it?
It is my thing. It is my thing.
If you're not getting in the shadows, you're not doing the job properly.
It's that the authenticity, the real, the truth for yourself, for the outer.
Yeah.
The nervous system, the recoding, the blueprints, loving it. That's just in my path and people that I'm resonating with at the moment. It's just a real watching people just dive and recreate and reweave, and it's just stunning.
It's lovely.
Absolutely loving it. And obviously the spaces I hold, this is a lot of the work that we're doing at the moment, is just how to reprogram, people might call it, or I like to see it as like recoding. Recoding to elevate or to dive, to come out. Yeah, it's just beautiful.
Recoding of reality. I think that's There's a theme that's running this year, and the last time we met, we were at Babry Rings in that kind of incredible wooden rib cage that we found. Do you remember that? And it was freezing.
The dragon cage.
Yeah, the dragon cage.
Wrapped up.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like -5, wasn't it, or something?
How different now.
Yeah, and here we are in this slightly cloudy but very warm morning.
New season.
New seasons.
Just new seasons brings new creation.
Yeah, absolutely. But the theme that has been running since we would have both come together the last time has been just the incredible authenticity of the pathway and the realisation of our personal contributions to the ascension process, but more to the point, actually discovering who we are and what we really need.
Yeah.
And when we were huddled in that freezing wind, you had just started your journey of basically downsizing everything that you had.
Yeah.
And you are now enjoying the life of being in your van.
Yeah.
Going where you are guided to when you need to do this.
Yeah.
And it's just that proved to me unequivocally that it's possible to do that. And so many, I'm finding it fascinating at the moment, Karen, how many people are being guided to do this. They're just saying, right, the system, the matrix, everything that the system we were born into.
Yeah.
Most of us were born into the system in a way that we were immediately part of the symbiosis, everything that flows through it. The very, very, very few of us were born what we would call free. So the act of moving through this process is a declaration of sovereignty, a declaration of freedom, and we're all feeling this calling. The movement from 4 walls to having maybe mobility, freedom, less stuff, less baggage, and saying a fond and misty farewell to the trappings that we were inevitably part of previously.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you lit a torch when people do this. You give them the option to do it. You offer that space, which is something that you're incredibly good at doing, is offering a space to say, well, you don't have to take it, but it's your option to do so.
Yeah, and I'm just watching a ladybird crawling, as nature can be my distraction of such beauty. This little ladybug has joined us. Thank you, and she's giving her medicine.
Chilling out.
Sat with us chilling now.
Chilling out.
Thank you for what you said. Thank you. But that's what we're all doing. We are all just finding our way, isn't it, to what resonates. And I personally love to see and feel, does that resonate with me? Okay, I can, this is medicine here, or this isn't medicine, and this is medicine, and this might not be. And just to have these spaces that we are gifting each other. Does this person here resonate with me? Does this person here resonate with me? What can I learn here? And I think that's all we're doing. It's that permission giving of allowing ourselves to just step into spaces to explore. So it's like someone might watch my journey and be like, no chance, that ain't for me. And it's like, it doesn't have to be. No. It's okay. Their form of what they call freedom might be something else. But like you say, people that it will resonate with, they see and they go, okay, look at what it's kind of gifted. Okay, that does resonate. So I'm going there. For me personally, the learnings already, I can't believe it's only been 6 months.
Less than that. Less than that. It was February. Now, so 4 months.
Yeah.
Think of the pathway. Think of the lessons that have presented themselves.
It's been. it feels like I've been living in her forever.
Yeah.
And that space, that container. I do feel like I've been living that way forever. And whether that is because it is a old timeline that I had to reconnect with, who knows? But for me, the simplicity, the lessons, the deeper connection to myself and the outdoors, because I took away things that weren't resonating with me, or were what I class as a stagnant energy.
Absolutely.
And when you were saying about minimalizing a minute ago, and what came up for me was that greed, needing lots of things, the off balance of this deadly sin, the greed, having too much stuff. That for me needed to go, so that I could reconnect inwards with this crystal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's almost when you see beings such as yourself do this, and thus providing permission or an opportunity for other people to take responsibility for what they truly need. It also runs parallel and completely alongside the kind of the frequency of the ascension process itself, because a lot of people, one thing I've noticed, I'm a real pattern guy. I see patterns in things everywhere.
Beautiful. Good.
And I notice repetitive behaviour as well, very acutely. And I've noticed the ascension process is about simplicity. Okay, human beings will complicate things by their nature, and I've seen this over the years. And the inevitably, when presented with a conundrum, like the answer to that ascension pick, or whatever you want to call it, is to break it all down and simplify it. Yeah. Like turn it into, well, why was that complicated in the first place? It's like using crystals, for example, isn't it? Like, it's like you have a crystal, it's like, what do I do with this? Am I using it right? It's not speaking to me. Like, where's my handbook? You don't need that.
No.
You just simply use the crystal as a child would use the crystal.
Yeah.
And so it's going back to the very basics. So the ascension process, our life on this planet, isn't supposed to be complicated. We were born into this complexity, this matrix, this noise, this burden, and I think the most exciting part and the most beautiful part of our journey is actually just throwing that away. The things we don't need, gifting them away, selling them, doing whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
But energetically, the process itself is not complicated. Life is not designed to be complicated.
But do you know when the complication, I think, if we use the word complication, when I think that comes in, is when you have to do the shadow work. Okay. Hello. So when you have to do the shadow work, that is what people class as complication. But the other side of the dive is just beautiful. So when I talk about shadow work, I talk about it as things that we've brought into our life that we need to witness and work within to be able to filter or bring back different parts. So it's almost like, you know, the disembodiment, you know, you kind of like, you allow things to dissolve and then you go, this I need, this I need, this I might need, and then recreate a new essence of that part of you. So for instance, I did a post, I put a post on my Instagram yesterday about just to give up a trigger warning in case, because what I'm about to talk about for people. So basically, suicide, I used to live with so many suicidal thoughts all the time. Like, I'm not meant to be here, or I'm not for this. Okay, so now I can sit and I can go, okay, these suicidal thoughts were just here to show me I was in a space I needed to not be in. So it wasn't the fact that I actually wanted to take my own life. It was the fact that I had spaces I needed to dive. I needed to be authentic. I needed to be seen. I needed to open my throat chakra and talk about things.
Absolutely.
I needed to shift any negative energy that was held in my body of abuse. Okay, so it's kind of like I needed to witness the truth of what was going on in this vessel, in this crystal, however you want to see it, in this energy. And so the trigger of the trigger of the mind that controls all of this nervous system, all of this, okay, needed to be unraveled and reset. And that's what people see as complicated. But as soon as you take away everything, take away that, you know, the greed, the lust, all of that, okay, the blocks, then that's, I see it as flight. I just see a bird flying, that phoenix. And that's what people see as complicated, I think. And it's not complicated when the complication is keeping it complicated.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Totally. Makes total sense. Of course it does. It's I suppose if you look at it from that perspective, the emotional body is complicated. The mental body is complicated because it's pre-programmed.
Yes.
We arrived in this lifetime with quite a significant quantity of karmic baggage. That was our choice. Okay, we've now left the wheel of karma.
Yeah.
So we were the last bastions of like the karmic load, and this is why I believe that so many light workers have this struggle to work through, because our shadow self was preloaded, our karmic bodies were preloaded, and we've also got what we have carried and what we've earned in previous lifetimes. But when you're shouldering the burden for your lineage, for your ancestrals as well, then that it's going to look complicated, it's going to feel complicated, and the unraveling process, the whole shadow dive, the end result of it is just like a diamond at the end of it, like sort of like the inner crystal.
That's beautiful.
It's so if you're listening to this and this sounds a little bit like the pathway that you are experiencing, like it's just like, oh my god, what do I do? I can't make head nor tail.
Yeah.
then just start slow. Give yourself the opportunity to have the space in which to work, and
one step at a time.
Absolutely, one step at a time. Make it simple. You know, don't walk before you can toddle, so to speak, and just be gentle with yourself, because if you're going to do this work, if you're going to do it properly, if you're going to be diving in and clearing the shadows, and it's kind of, I've mentioned this before, like the shadow work isn't optional anymore. It's become an obligatory part of the Ascension pathway, because in order to walk through the higher frequency gateways that we're kind of racing towards, you have to be free of the burdens. You've got to have looked at it, you've got to have unravelled it, and lo and behold, it's all part of the process, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm a huge believer of the. I'm covered in money spiders.
Hey, it's probably set up on a money spider nest.
Oh, hello, beautifuls. They're stunning. So, yeah, I've been distracted again now. See, this is I spend so much time with nature now that I'm just like,
oh my god, it's a bug.
It's my childlike wonder, as I call it. My childlike wonder. So I'm trying to put it down so I don't hurt her. Come on. So I think that, if you are going through this, then to one step at a time is important. I'm trying to think of the processes of the spaces that we hold is identifying, okay, because some people, we talk about shadow work quite often.
We do.
And I think that people are like, well, I don't know what it means. Is it demonic? Is it dark stuff? Is it scary? I don't see it like that. I actually just see it as a part of us, in a form of an essence that's going to just make you shine.
Yeah.
But still, looking at it is the shine. It's like, I don't see it as, the dark and light. I never have. I just see it as a way of life that's just together.
Absolutely.
That's creating.
If you analyse what shadow work actually is, it's dealing with the hidden emotions, what has been stashed away, what the Indians have a saying where, like, you basically fill the room underneath your house, and when that room has been filled to the point where the door won't shut anymore, then the door bursts open, and you therefore have no choice but to deal with all of these the escaping tirade of whatever you've hidden away. So isn't it more sensible to deal with it as it's happening?
Why do you think people avoid it?
I think it's been our program. I think it's been our program to repress our emotions, to avoid our emotions, because they're painful, and because the society that we were born into, that we were raised in many cases, it's not cool to be emotional, it's not cool to speak your truth. And so we're now living very different lives. We're now living we're now in an era where truth it's so necessary. I mean, if we speak words of untruth now, if you're on the pathway, if you're on the spiritual pathway, and it doesn't matter whether you've begun it, whether you've been on it for years, we can now feel and sense innately if the words that we are speaking or the words that we are receiving are not from the heart, or they're not in integrity, or they're not holding a resonance of truth. And so in order to stand in that, we have to be honest with ourselves about what is coming up through us, because we can't hide it anymore. It's all part of, the shadows are the smallest when the sun is at its zenith, at its peak. So everything is revealed in its concentrated form. And so here we are, like the more we shovel out of the basement, sort of thing, the better it becomes. It's why avoid it? Why avoid it?
And I see how I work and see the nervous system is obviously as it is, like all the pathways, the creation, the bubbles, it's the network. So much going on. I'm going into my own little visual here, so bear with me. So basically, whilst all that's happening, then basically, if you want to flow, if you want to flow through life, you've got to have the rock, okay, that you've got to sit with. Okay, you've got to understand that the wave is the trigger that will crash against you, that you need to see and go, this water wants to flow with me. So there's so much that is being shown to you. It's just whether you're going to embrace it, to be able to flow within your own self. So a lot of people ask me why I move, why I dance a lot. It's my creativity, it's my language. As you can see now, I zone out and I go into an inner world of what's coming through, of seeing. Okay, so my inner world is my seeing, to connect with the outer world. And this is the kind of spaces that I'm trying to create. If we take our eyes away, this is why some of the work I do is blindfolded. We take our eyes away, that's when you go into your truth, isn't it? Always. The slowing down. Am I looking after this temple? Where can I feel the blocks? And I know that you yourself, you obviously do lots of meditation work to work with this. But you can meditate, and still it won't make something new. It's like shaking your leg, get out! So there's still a block here, okay? There's still a block here. So this is why it's important to tap into all forms, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Not have just one set way.
No.
This is why breath work's important. This is why meditation's important. This is why journaling's important. This is why dance is important. This is why kickboxing is important.
Absolutely.
Because we see that as our that's my warrior mode.
Yeah.
For me.
Absolutely, for me as well. I couldn't have done the last 10 years of my pathway without that expression. It's the only place where my mind is just you are totally in the moment. Totally in the moment. It's and like I've said previously, when I've walked into class burdened, it only takes an hour and a half, and it is gone. It's gone. It's in the pads. It's been released in the sparring. It's been whatever we're doing in that time. It's just like, my God, I'm clear. It's gone. So that's just one of the many personal methods to shift that energy through, to find something that allows you to express and to move that energy.
Isn't it? It can be whatever it is, but to tap into all forms. All forms. I'm not a believer that one thing works for all and one thing works. I'm a believer of find your ways, and this is why I love moving around and receiving medicines from lots of other people, and learning and meeting people. How did you do this? And you know, how did you manage that?
What's
and then
your story?
Absolutely.
What's your
and
story?
That's something that beautifully the van life has brought me.
Access to stories.
So I just think find different ways to, because I have sat with, hang on, I'm trying to be more feminine. Should I do my kickboxing anymore? You know, this kind of, and then I'm like, whoa, hang on, look at that balance. You know, that balance that you create.
You've got to have it.
Of like, it's that empowerment of one thing to balance up the other thing, of the masculine and feminine. Should we even talk about that? There's so much of that, isn't there?
Oh my God, it's forever.
What a subject. I feel like that needs to be a whole other video.
Oh, I think it does. I mean, like you could do 8 hours on that, couldn't you? And kind of like maybe just even scratch the surface of the iceberg.
Oh, what an interesting topic.
Oh no.
I was saying to Tim earlier that I actually have come away from obviously a lot of being online, and just posting every so often, but not actually going online and looking at stuff. It's not really a space for me anymore, because I want to hear my story and the real life. But however, I know it has a space. And I was actually saying earlier that I did go online and I saw a few things that were just people almost attacking other people in their ways.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, now I know this is why I don't come here. This is why I don't do this. This is not a space for me. Because it just didn't bring up, it didn't bring a space of love, which
It's
actually,
not, no.
And again, that's an off balance in itself, isn't it?
It is, and that kind of touches on the subject of with this return to authenticity. There's a huge movement, and this is the year for it. It's only happened this year, where there is a big rejection of anything that is inauthentic or regarded as inauthentic. But there's a big difference between walking away from something and sitting there and taking the piss out of it. So I've always said, if you don't like something, just move on.
There's a great song, I can't think what, I want to say it's called Light and Joy, and basically it's a song about what is it in you that wants to dim my light.
Ooh.
And I'll send it to you. It's a beautiful song, and it is like, what's in you that wants to dim my light?
It's a good question, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. So why do you, what's triggering? What's going on here? I'm going to send you that.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
It's a great song, and if I remember when the video gets posted, I'll put it.
Actually, put a link to the song. That's a really good idea.
It's a really happy song. But that's it. That's the questions, isn't it, to be asking? That's what I've asked myself. Is there something in me that, I've had to ask that across the line, down in my past, kind of like, what is it that wants me? Because that's the shadow work. That's truth.
Yeah.
That's truth.
That's
what's in me.
Yeah.
I'm going to out myself. What's in me that wants you to fail at this?
Yeah.
Here's my jealous. Here's my envy.
Yeah.
Here's my okay. So I want what you've got, and then that's an off balance in yourself.
Absolutely.
And I could talk about this stuff all day.
Yeah. It's one of because we've mentioned a couple of times in just like in fluid passing, like the manifestation of like the seven, what's known as the 7 deadly sins, and kind of obviously jealousy and envy is a massive. It's one of the 7 pillars of and I can see a lot of that out there. It's like there's always I see it as a necessary gateway that people need to walk through.
That's
spiritual comparison, spiritual envy. I've seen it all the time. Like I always joke about third eye envy. It's like there's say you've got a class full of 100 people attending a workshop. There's always one in the workshop who can see, oh my God, there's a golden dragon flying around. I can see it so clearly, and everyone else is sat there, I wish I could bloody see it, sort of thing. I can only hear my guides, or I can only feel my guides. So it's that immediate comparison of like, I should be like that, or I need to be like that, or why am I not holding what that person has, instead of focusing on what we're bringing through on a personal level. It's
I got very lost on my path when I kept trying to, I suppose, do what other people were doing.
It's necessary.
And I was like, this isn't my path. My path is to actually do my look at me, I'm like, do my weirdness that I do.
Do my thing.
To do my thing that I do. That's my path.
Yeah.
And people have called me dark for it, and I'm like, I'm okay with that. Actually, it's okay, because my heart is very shining.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm okay with that. But it's like, it kind of, it's interesting what people will put another person in a box.
Yeah.
When there's no need. They're just doing their thing.
They're just doing their thing.
They're doing their thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's fascinating. So it's like if someone was near me and was like, look at that dragon, I'd be like, oh my god, what does it look like?
Yeah, tell me more. You know, what's its name? What does it look like? You know, what kind of dragon? You know, there's a lot of golden dragons out there because they've all gone through the Ascension process. I've always loved the visual representations that are available, but I can count on the fingers of one hand the time I've actually been visually shown something, and it's usually an internal vision. So I do not have that capacity to see. I'm clairsentient, so I feel, and I'm claircognizant. I know.
Yeah.
That's one of the most difficult clairs to navigate, because you therefore have to be presented with the discernment. Like, how do you discern what you're feeling? How do you discern what you're hearing? Who's talking to you? Where's that knowledge and where's that feeling coming from? But once you've managed it, once you've managed to understand and listen to that voice very clearly, it becomes an exceptionally powerful tool. Again, you know, if you're being if you see something, you need to be discerning of what you're seeing and the filter with which it's coming through. It's all about filters, isn't it?
I've massive learning at the moment for me of this isn't mine, this is yours.
Yeah.
And that, you know, that even had a great lesson with a beautiful person the other day, where it was kind of like something, you know, they came at me with their rage, and I felt rage, and then I was like, this is not your rage.
Yeah.
This is not my rage.
No.
So I just allowed it to go, okay, what do I need to see here, and address it differently, because we pick up and match
everything
other people's stuff, and it's like, whoa, I don't have any rage, I'm okay.
Yeah,
it's like when
cool.
you tap back into your own, it's seeing what's yours, what's not, and that's the discernment, isn't it? Learning the difference between judgmental and discerning. That's been a fascinating path for me to navigate and learn.
Yeah.
The difference between, am I judging someone, or am I just figuring this situation out?
Am I judging? Am I figuring out whether this is for me or whether it's not?
Yeah.
Because you can kind of then overanalyze whether you are being,
or am I avoiding?
Yeah, exactly. Am I avoiding? Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to put them in the discerning, because I don't want to say that I'm being judgmental, because that would mean I'd have to look at my own shadow work.
And hereby I wonder why the emotional body is so complicated. You know, I think we just answered that one quite nicely, and the mental body as well. I love it.
I'm gonna put myself in this box, so I don't have to look at the real one with what's going on inside myself. Oh, that's many stories.
We're nifty at doing that as humans, aren't we? We really are.
Yeah, I've been I've spent many years avoiding putting on another mask so I can avoid a situation.
Haven't we all?
Yeah.
It's part of the pathway.
And now it's just like
yeah. Oh, it's another one. Off it comes.
There it goes. Yeah, it's just like, it's beautiful, but it's just witnessing what you're doing, everyone else is doing, and it's just so. Yeah, in their own frequency and their own way, and it's just so stunning, and I love it. I do.
Oh, very much.
Now that I've decided I want to stay here.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
This is your path. Is your path.
Yeah. So you, Tim, with your workings, you're aware of the challenges out there, people still struggling.
I say the way that I am seeing this navigate itself is, this year has been the year where we have everything's been revealed. So you remember the day when we ran the workshop together on the 29th of March, and I was talking about the blue light that had come through. That was a beautiful day, but that blue light stripped away all of our abilities to ignore what's really going on. So it was a massive unveiling of what the shadows look like the true deep shadows, the astral shadows, the things that are going on this world, and our ability as human beings to ignore them. So what we're seeing out there at the moment is the extreme discomfort that people experience when they can no longer ignore their abilities to deceive themselves. And we wonder why the world has to go through this transformation, because everybody's experiencing the same thing. And there will obviously be people amongst them who are choosing not to, because they are not on the ascension pathway. They are going to continue to learn the 3D. That's cool. That's their sole choice. But for those of us who are evolving, it's an absolute necessity to honour that vision, what we're seeing, what we're experiencing. You can ignore it only for so long, but it's a little bit like applying high gas heat to a boiling pan. Eventually the water boils and it continues to boil, and if the heat isn't turned off or somebody attends to it, then the water will just boil away, and you're left with steam. It has to go somewhere. It has to be dealt with. It has to do something. It has to transform into
my body's going injuries.
Yeah, exactly.
Distortment.
Yeah, like
Stuck.
Absolutely, nervous system kicking off, and so that's where we are, and people are struggling to navigate that. But that's cool. We're the more we come together and the more we offer that field of unified support, the easier it becomes, because people are taking responsibility, and when people take responsibility, others notice. It's like, okay, that's what I need to be doing, and that's worked for this person. Like they're beginning to move from where they were into a higher phase, into a higher state, into a state of peace. Morning. So that is it's an essential part of our evolution. Essential part of our evolution, and we'll be through the other side of it one day.
Okay, I want to ask a question.
Yeah,
you don't have to answer.
No,
because,
you
as you know, that's your right. What do you think about spiritual bypassing?
Spiritual bypassing, again, it's part of the revelation of what's authentic and what's inauthentic.
Okay.
Because everybody can take what they have as knowledge and use it to skirt around what really is the issue. But with spiritual bypassing, it's become quite like it's just becoming like an easy option to kind of avoid what the actual truth of the matter is. Do you see what I mean?
Another mask?
Another mask. It's another mask.
Okay.
It's deflection. It's avoidance. It's inauthenticity with oneself, and inauthenticity in the communication with another human being. So it's big at the moment because there's a lot of spiritual bypassing going on out there. It's like tip of the pyramid.
Is that?
I'm seeing it a lot.
But I had this conversation with someone actually the other day, and it was beautiful because they were saying like the spiritual bypassing holds a space.
Yeah, of course it does.
Even because that in itself is a step for them or people to get to where they need to go.
Of course it is. It's an essential part of learning how to be.
I always think of if you've got, let's just I'm just going to break it down. So say like you've got a habit that you want to you've got a habit that you want to that's within you, and it's what I call an unhealthy habit or an off balance. And then basically what happens is you journey through your life with it.
Yeah.
Toddle on through, and then it hits you and hits you and hits you, and things happen and you fight back with it. And then sometimes what you'll do is just put yourself in a different space. Over here. Okay, but this thing goes with you, doesn't
Inevitably.
it? And then you go, things hit back. Okay, I'm going to try this space instead.
Back over here again.
Yeah, or a different one. But it goes with you.
Yeah.
Because
it
it's
does, 'cause
you,
you've not
isn't
dealt
it?
with it.
So this is how I see the path of spiritual bypassing. Like I say, I'm not speaking ill of it, because everything has a space on the path. But how I see it is, it's just you'll keep just putting yourself in different spaces.
Yeah, see, oh, well, this will work. No.
Yeah, and then it's like, no matter where I keep putting myself, I've done it. No matter where I keep putting myself, this is still here. And it's because it's you, it's your thing of needing to recode.
Yeah, needing to
recode.
It's the long and arduous process of realizing that you can't bypass anything. You've got to deal with that. Hence the beauty within the shadow work, the authenticity of the shadow work. My bypass originally was thinking that I worked with so much light and so many angelic beings that I wouldn't need to do any shadow work, because everything that I did was just so bloody wonderful.
No, thank you for saying that, because that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's really honest.
It's so I just thought, keep my head in the clouds, and I wouldn't need to deal with it. It's like yucky lower chakras. We won't go into that. We don't need to, because
I'm balanced from here up.
Yeah. I like my transcendent chakras a little bit too much, basically. So look, don't worry about the base or the sacral. You're not going to go there. We don't need to. It's a bit human for me. The rest of it. So that's one version of it, isn't it? Sort of like.
And this is this light and dark, isn't it? How people see like light is good and head in the cloud, but the dark is bad.
Oh no!
Like,
don't go anywhere near that. It's yucky.
And that's why I like, sometimes I'm the opposite way around. I've had to kind of like been so in the dark, I've had to go, Karen, give yourself a little light now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there is something up there for you.
Yeah,
honestly.
it's just finding that balance with it, because it's but again, it's being honest.
Yeah.
It's being honest. So I've played the victim long enough. There's that shadow work that I had to do down here, of this victim mode needs to go now, so I can step up into the authenticity of, authentic with the light.
I've always said that our shadow work's actually addictive. Don't get hooked on it, kids. It's what comes through when you need it to come through. Work with that, but remember that again, you've got to stay in balance, because sometimes we can get very addicted to that rolling around in the mud kind of thing, and like if you're not doing it, you think that you're not doing enough work. So you've got to remember to enjoy yourselves.
Yeah, and I think this is why like joy's coming up at the moment, because a lot of people have done and shedding a little bit of the the root stuff or what's coming at sacral,
and then to come straight back up
come back up to the joy and just be bouncing around in them. It's important, isn't it, to know that it's a constant movement of knowing yourself. This is why knowing yourself is important, because it's that constant. I woke up this morning, okay, I've sat with myself, okay, I feel this off balance here, I feel this off balance here, so it's like, okay, what's that? And then not carrying it through your day, or if you are carrying it through your day, of understanding what it wants to show you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's the importance of understanding this inner work.
Love it. Love it.
I think that's my perspective on it.
Absolutely hit the nail on the head. And we've got a workshop coming up, haven't we?
We have. It's exciting. The other side of the Lions Gate.
Other sides of the increasingly getting closer to the Lions Gate. We've got July to go first.
Yes.
Which, considering how fast everything is kind of like schmoozing on past. I think by the time we get to August, we're running our workshop together on the 23rd of August. And it's at Claysmore, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, the most beautiful
Dorset.
grounds in Dorset. This is a live in-person workshop, and come along, because we're going to be looking at all different aspects of the spiritual pathway on the day. We're going to be working in the kind of what we would almost call the closing energies of the Lion's Gate. I love that little period of time straight after the Lion's Gate where the Virgo energies come in, and it feels like a cool breeze blowing through your through the fires of Leo, and just bringing everything down into a peaceful, calm, unified, beautiful day. So I'm very much looking forward to it.
Grounding.
It does feel very grounding. Feels very grounding. So yeah, that will be our physical coming together and unification of minds, hearts and souls on the day. So
how exciting.
Yay. I will put the details for how to find out where everything is, and come along if you're feeling guided to join us underneath this video. So it's been an absolute honour this morning. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Tim. All I keep hearing is that song in my head now.
Yeah. There will be song details underneath this video.
I'm gonna go and dance to it as well.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
My pleasure, and thank you.
And this has been lovely, because I feel like we haven't done one for a while.
No, we haven't.
So
especially not in lovely weather. Last time we were freezing. Right, it was cold, but it was beautiful. So.
And this time we've got our guns out. It's my warrior mode. Yeah. And then back into my goddess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
okay, so from us, thank you from our hearts, sending you loads of love.
Lots of love.
Okay.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.